Billionaire investor Chamath Palihapitiya has a warning to investors. Do not sleep on Tesla.
I told you that I spent time last week at Tesla. I would not be sleeping on this business. I think that it is yet again back into the land of being misunderstood.
I mean, has Tesla ever not been misunderstood? Although he is right.
Tesla's down, but it should probably be up. Amazon's basically break even and Apple is down, and I think that kind of makes sense. That's sort of how I read this table.
If we were looking at those, number one and number two, which one do you think gets to AGI first? Thomas?
Well, wait, hold on. By the way, the other thing you should note, Jason, which I find really interesting, is nobody talks about AGI anymore. If you listen to the language of all the companies, it's all super intelligence, which is a much more achievable goal because it's defined as being, multiples more intelligent than a human being. But I think I think if you actually...
Another lens, Chamath, that I think about on these is who controls their own destiny of these 7 companies in AI, right? And I would argue
Tesla
Google
the
does,
most. I would argue
right?
Tesla the most.
does.
Yeah.
Notice how quickly Chamath jumped in here to share his opinion that Tesla, of all the companies in the quote Magnificent Seven, most controls their destiny when it comes to AI. He is correct, and this is not widely understood. The current distraction factor is overall weakness in global automotive sales. This is causing a lot of investors to take their eyes off the prize. If your focus is on automotive sales, Tesla car sales, and not what's happening with Tesla AI, you are fucking up.
NVIDIA. And then it's kind of interesting, right? Neither Amazon doesn't have its own foundation model, right? They're kind of dependent on others, right? Microsoft, 49% does, right? Because of this kind of relationship they have with OpenAI. It's both, they own a big share, but they don't control it. So there's kind of interesting. And then maybe 6 months ago, we would have said, well, Meta absolutely does. Maybe Zuck's trying to question that a little bit. And, it's fun, in my opinion, to kind of bring different lenses to this list, right? There's the regulatory one that Friedberg was just talking about. I kind of think about if I was the CEO, do I control my own destiny in this market, right? And I expect these companies are not going to want to be dependent on others and are going to at least want to say, no, I'm going to control my own destiny, whether I win or lose.
Who's your number one? Who's your number two? If you could only bet on 2 here to achieve super intelligence, AGI, let's just say win the AI big prize, the big prize, super intelligence, AGI, in the midterm, 5 years. 5 years from now, we're sitting here. Thomas, give me your number one, give me your number two.
Look, I think to me, number one, I still think NVIDIA, right? I don't see the GPU kind of getting displaced. I see additional architectures kind of coming on board, right, and growing the market. But at the end of the day, all roads still lead to the GPU for all of these models. So I would kind of still put NVIDIA on that. My number two, more of a dark horse, but I would pick Tesla. I do think it has the most potential for vertical integration, right? From all the way the silicon to the model to actually the hardware, right? That might become super important, not just in cars, but in Optimus. So NVIDIA 1, Tesla is my dark horse.
Wow.
You heard that big wow come in from Jason. The dark horse being Tesla. So the question really, at least the way I interpreted it, was which company is going to actually get to AGI, artificial general intelligence or artificial superintelligence, first. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really think NVIDIA is even attempting. However, this is an investment-related podcast, right? And I think the number one winner here, non-dark horse being NVIDIA, was actually the analogy with the gold rush. During the 19th century gold rush, a lot of money was to be made selling picks and shovels. In the AI gold rush, it's the GPUs, the training hardware. But already, Tesla's been named. I wouldn't refer to it as a dark horse, but in terms of perceptions among investors, probably fair. I don't think most investors out there are expecting Tesla to win the AI race in a big way. Let's see what everyone else has to say.
Wow. Stunning. Chamath, who's your number one and number two? In the midterm, 5 years from now, we're sitting here on All In, episode 700.
Tesla's 1 and Google's 2.
Earlier, Chamath warns investors don't sleep on Tesla, and now he picks Tesla as the big winner, the top pick for AGI. Let's listen to his reasoning.
And the reason is because they are the closest to having that vertically integrated stack that I spoke about. I think that Tesla has the best vision models. Now with XAI, they'll have one of the best LLMs and reasoning models, and they'll be able to eventually stick that on Dojo. And then all of that will be in all of the physical AI that you will interact with in your daily life, whether it's a robot or whether it's a car or whether it's a Robotaxi. So that's number one.
I'm going to go with you, Chamath. I'm one. My 1 and 2 are either Google or Elon, and I'll just say Elon because I, like you, I spent a day up at XAI and I saw what a magnet for talent he is. I got to sit in some meetings and just he was interviewing people and he was working with that talent 8 o'clock at night. There's a lot of people there on a Saturday grinding it out. It was nuts.
I first went to XAI. In the 15 minutes that I was in the parking lot finishing a call, the kinds of people that were walking in and out of there, you could tell they were big brains.
Yeah.
I don't know how, you know what I mean? Like from every walk of life, they all just looked much smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah.
And some of them were like chain smoking cigarettes and just like stressed out. It was crazy.
I had a couple of Zins, I'll be totally honest. But the reason I say Elon versus Google is I think Elon's in a unique position. I don't have any insider information here, and I haven't talked about this, or I'm not back channeling from Elon, lest anybody aggregate this. I think what Colossus has done and what Tesla has done, both of these things, Tesla with their own stack of hardware, to your point, Chamath, hardware plus software, plus the user application of FSD and Optimus. Then you put that together with the data, the real-time data of X, formerly known as Twitter, plus what he's building with XAI, and obviously those two companies merged. I think Tesla board, XAI board have to get together, put those two companies together.
Yeah,
one's worth $1 trillion, one's worth $100 billion.
As a Tesla investor, I would love to see this happen, although I would have loved to see Tesla invest much earlier, get a massive slice of XAI. But as I said in the past, almost 2 years ago, actually, August 2023. So about XAI, Tesla's real-world data stream plus X's real-time language stream, that includes text plus video and images, just to be clear, equals the ingredients for AGI. Now, it's important to understand, no company on earth has anything comparable to Tesla's real-world data stream. And in order for a company, unless they literally license that from Tesla, which would obviously be up to Tesla, good luck with that, in order to match Tesla's real-world data stream, they would somehow need to put 8+ million camera-covered vehicles on roads instantly. Good luck with that. As for X's real-time data stream, this is what Grok was trained on predominantly, and in the span of less than 2 years, I mean, XAI didn't even exist 2 years ago. Grok's capabilities went from didn't exist because Grok didn't exist to industry leading. The key difference, though, between Tesla's real-world data stream, which no other company on earth has any reasonable chance of matching, period, is the open internet does exist. So if you want to train a language model, you don't have access to the X real-time data stream, which is a bit of a disadvantage, but you can still train on the open internet. So there'll be many companies with very good LLMs out there. But language is only one of the two critical ingredients for artificial general intelligence. The other is real-world data, e.g. vision, the ability to see, perceive, plan, act in the real world. So under the Musk umbrella, Tesla plus X, and by the way, those who don't know, XAI has access to X's data stream. There are only one group of entities, X, XAI, and Tesla, with the necessary ingredients for solving artificial general intelligence. This is very important. November of that same year, I posted this in response to some discussion, Jason DeBolt, Dave Lee, and Elon Musk on the potential of XAI and Tesla investing. Tesla investing in XAI is the no-brainer of no-brainers. Combined, Tesla plus XAI has the complete recipe for AGI. I went over this before. Tesla got compute, the foundational building block of AGI with FSD, millions of vehicles on roads collecting data, and Optimus robot. XAI has the X data stream. And as I noted here, replicating Tesla's FSD capabilities requires a data flywheel, which requires the building and deployment of millions of vehicles to collect data. Close to impossible for others to do this. So how does anyone catch up? By the way, spoiler alert, they can't. X's data stream of text, images, and videos is what Tesla is missing from solving AGI entirely. So both companies need each other. Something to ponder. That was back in 2023, and what I said then remains entirely relevant today. I would love to see Tesla acquire XAI outright, the whole company. Whether this happens, whether it gets board and shareholder approval is another matter, but I really would like to see this happen. It makes total sense. And just taking a quick pause here, so far, of the 3 people who've responded to who wins AGI, who's a big winner for the AI race here, Tesla, number 1, picked by both Chamath and Jason, and also picked as the dark horse in number 2. So far, the consensus is leaning heavily toward Tesla, and I can understand why.
Agreed.
Put them and just have all that brain power going in one direction, as opposed to Elon task switching between the two. You do that, I think he wins number 1. You don't do that, I think he either gets 1 or 2, and then I think Google is going to have a better search product, Thomas. I think it's a really important point. Do they lose search share? Doesn't matter. What I think matters is, are their ads more effective? Is their ad network more effective? And I think based on what they know on you from your chat searches and your discussions and what they analyze in your email, just analyzing your Gmail and your surfing behavior and Chrome, if they get to keep it, your Android phone, if you use it, your YouTube list and when you drop off All In and when you start listening to another podcast, whatever it is, all that data is going to lead to an ad network that performs so much better that even if they lose search share, their ad network is going to continue to grow. And I think it will increase in velocity. So those are my top two. Friedberg, I'm curious from your position, which one you think is number one and number two? I saved you for last because you know what we do here? We save the best for last, Friedberg. Go ahead.
I think there's a difference in how I would kind of lump them. I think that Tesla probably it is the best place to invest if you want to have a shot at a massive new industry. So they've got a baseline business in obviously the automobiles, but I think this humanoid robot opportunity is absolutely mind-blowingly ginormous.
Friedberg believes that the humanoid robot opportunity is, quote, absolutely mind-blowingly ginormous. He's right. Note, he opened these comments, dropping the name Tesla, and said that Tesla, in essence, is the best place to invest if you want a potential slice of this gigantic opportunity. Isn't it interesting when these four different people with different backgrounds, different thoughts, opinions, values are all asked to share their number 1 and 2 pick in terms of winners in the AI race? 3 of them named Tesla straight out of the gates as their number 1 pick. The first company they comment on, 2 of whom have recently spent time with Elon Musk in Tesla and or XAI meetings. And Thomas, the first guest, sharing his opinion, picked NVIDIA as the obvious. Well, I mean, AI, you obviously want to invest in the company producing the shovels and picks for the gold rush, hence NVIDIA, and then picks Tesla as the dark horse in number 2. Of course, it's not like any of these guys who've just shared their opinions on Tesla, number one or 2, and definitely a dark horse at number 2, have a track record of identifying massive opportunities ahead of time, investing early, and collectively have made billions of dollars as a result. They have. So I think I was going to say you should ignore what they've got to say, but that's before I remembered that they've actually seen opportunities and invested early and made an absolute killing. So,
Absolutely mind-blowingly ginormous. And I don't think that there's a better company on earth positioned to execute against this humanoid robotics opportunity than Tesla. So, it's sort of like, I would call it a low probability, high upside sort of call option embedded within that business. And obviously you're paying a premium for that because it is still a very healthy premium you pay for that business.
I like the concept of having a call option on future opportunities, which, by the way, a never expiring call option. I just want to add something. You guys might be familiar with the idea that Steve Jobs had what many described as a reality distortion field. Well, I believe, based on his multi-decade track record, Elon Musk has a probability distortion field, whereby he's able to do things that seem almost certain to fail, near impossible, over and over and over. A reusable rockets, anyone? Successfully starting a car company, let alone an electric vehicle company? Anyone? Tesla successfully solving autonomy, now paying customers in Tesla Robotaxis, vision only. Everyone said you need LiDAR, operating legally in Austin already, buying the burning dumpster fire that was Twitter, laying off roughly 80% of the company, turning it around, massively increasing profitability, making a much better product, start an AI company less than 2 years ago, leapfrog the entire industry, becoming best in industry in record time, out of nowhere, scale up an AI training cluster many times larger than anyone thought was actually possible while maintaining coherence. I could do this for days. My point, Elon Musk-led efforts over the past couple of decades show a recurring theme, succeeding against seemingly impossible odds. You do the impossible once, holy shit, wow, that's incredible. Twice, okay, we got a pattern starting to form here. 3 or more times, brother, you got to pay attention. How can you doubt somebody who has a long-term, multi-decade track record across many different industries and technologies of doing the impossible? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, over and over and over again. My point, based on track record, it really does appear that Elon Musk has an ability to do things that seem impossible for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So maybe the words of warning from billionaire investor Chamath Palihapitiya, don't sleep on Tesla, company misunderstood. Friedberg pointing out that humanoid robots are an astronomically large opportunity. Consensus opinion among everybody on the show, expecting Tesla to be a big winner, if not the winner, when it comes to AI and AGI. Maybe they're onto something. Want more content? Early access, bunch of perks. Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.